Hey there! Have you ever had the feeling that a woman might like you, but you just weren't sure? She didn't say it. She didn't make a move, but something felt different. The way she looked too lingered around or smiled for a second too long. Here's the truth. When a woman is into you, she rarely tells you directly. Instead, she shows it in quiet, subtle ways most men completely miss. In today's video, we're breaking down 5 subtle signs she's secretly into you based on real female psychology and evolutionary behavior. These aren't just random habits. These are patterns rooted in how women test for emotionality, confidence, and all without saying a word. We'll look at how she uses space-time attention and even small emotional tests to signal interest. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for and how to respond with calm clarity, never thinking, or guessing. You've ever walked away from a conversation? Why is she just being friendly, or was there something more? Stay. With Mabecca's, once you learn to read the signs, your confidence changes, your relationships change, and if everything starts to make a lot more sense, let's get into it. She creates opportunities. Number 1, she creates opportunities to round you. Subtly, but intentionally, woman rarely walks up to a man and sees plainly, "I like you." That's not how her interest expresses itself. Instead, it slips in like a soft, breezy throw. Small coincidences that aren't coincidentally at your usual coffee spot. Though, she never mentioned liking it before. She lingers in conversation to you. Thought we're ending? She makes fog. But open-ended plans like let's hold hangouts sometime without pushing for a date. These are not empty gestures. They are gentle invitations for men who expect directness. These moments are often missed. Approach love or desire in a straight line. They approach it with nuance when she creates opportunities to around you. Even if subtly, it often signals openness and a quiet hope that you'll read between the lines. Not every invitation will be loud. In fact, the softer it is, the more risk she's taking in her way, because behind that casual smile and offhand comment is a question. Will you notice? Will you step in with grounded attention or pass it off as snubbing? This isn't just flirtation. Emotional canoes. She's testing whether your awareness runs deeper than her face's signals. Whether you're present, whether your masculine frame can recognize a window of connection and dress without aspiration. Most men miss the cue entirely, or jump into force filtering to secure certainty. But the real answer lies in acknowledging the energy she's offering, without rushing to claim or explain it. The Stoics remind us that clarity begins with observation. When a woman shows up in your orbit more than with no logical reason, when her presence extends past social politeness and genuine accuracy, when her words carry just now ambiguity to invite not being unclear, she's being deliberate. She's offering you a quiet stitch to reveal how you operate when these aren't spelled out. A woman's emotional intelligence is high. Shinata's tone changes and body language shifts. The way a hunter tracks wind patterns. If she's placing herself within reach of your attention, she's watching what you do with that gift. Will you remain grounded and calm, or will you lean too far forward? In neediness, the man hokumly mirrors her presence. With it, pressure creates space for her desire to grow. It's easy to confuse a tatali with indecision. But subtlety is a form of emotional intelligence. It's how many women manage risk in romantic intentions. It protects her dignity while still expressing interest. You learn to listen with more than just your ears to feel timing, body language, and consistency. You'll realize that many mixed signals are in mix at all. There are clear messages disguised as casual ones. Stan, who knows how to read those messages, doesn't chase but also doesn't leap bolts out, not because he plays games, but because he pays attention. He doesn't mean clarity headances with ambiguity. Earns trust through presence, not pressure. When she makes ruin her world for you, she's inviting you to notice her. Intention with thought, averting her boundaries, she's giving You a moment to respond, not just with words, but with understanding, and if you can do that with Steeden S. Gray shell feels safer opening, that door even wider. She pays more attention to appearance. Number Twash pays more attention to her appearance when seeing their remnants when a woman sass nothing at a liar. Everything about Harry's speaking, the subtle shine in her hair, the deliberate tetto of heels, over sneakers, or the off of perfume Thadlinger's ass walks by. It's not a coincidence. These choices are random. When a woman pays more attention to how she looks in your presence, she's not just expressing self, she's expressing gent. And surely does this for someone new who doesn't matter. Men often overlook this signal, misreading it as vanity or dismissing it entirely. But a man who understands female psychologists the deeper message. A woman's increased attention to her appearance, especially when it goes beyond what the setting demands, is not simply a bid for generic attention, is an invitation for connection. She's not trying to set a sail in the overt theatrical way pop culture often portrays. Rather, she is placing value in the interaction before it even begins. Her preparation is an emotional investment. She fixes her hairnet because it's out of place. Butt back, 'cause you're there. Shakuza's address that flatters her figure or not. Because AFD requires it, but because she's aware, you'll notice these aren't acts of desperation. They're quiet acts of hope in her world. Effort equals intention. When she makes herself more visible, more refined, she's extending a hand that says, see me not just as Eom, but as I want to be seen by you. Stoic wisdom reminds us that awareness is more powerful than reaction. Calm man doesn't rush to flatter. He doesn't lapinto nervous chatter. He observes, understands, and holds his ground. His presence isn't inflated by praise, nor is his attention given cheaply, Hanatesses, but doesn't chase. And ironically, that restraint is what makes her feel truly seen. Most women want a man who is discerning. Most women don't want a man who is captivated by every beautiful face. They want the man who is discerning. The man with gaze holds weight when you notice her efforts and meet them with steady ground energy, not approval, seeking behavior. You create an emotional feedback loop that deepens her attraction. You show her that while Bodhi is appreciated, it's not a tool for your manipulation. You are not dazzled by appearance alone, but you respect the intention behind it. There's a difference between flatter and recognition. Flattery is reactive. Recognition is deliberate. The man who quietly picks up on her or notice extra care she's put into her outfit without rushing to verbalize it. A cretesta? Quiet tension, a space where attraction grows in the unspoken. In that space, Sheffield. Seen, not judged, admired, not objectified, and many men overlook this ecologically. 80 women rarely dress up just for the mirror she's putting in more effort. When shadows, she'll see. You sending a message, it may not be direct, but it's intentional, and your ability to read between the lines without losing composure speaks volumes about your maturity. So instead of asking for signs or waiting for bold gesture, paying attention to the subtleties, notice how her energy shifts around you, and notice how she prepares for your presence. If she's making an effort to look at bestures, giving you something more than a compliment, she's showing you that umata, and how you respond or reveals the kind of man you are. She allows you into her personal space. Number 3, she allows you into her personal space, naturally. You can learn a lot about woman, not by what she says, but by what she allows. When a woman starts to open the door to her personal space, emotionally or physically, it's never by accident. It's a subtle signal of trust, comfort, and deeper interested. Most men rush past or completo share pieces of purpose that carry weight. She tells you stories about her childhood, her family, her wounds, and her wins. These aren't just casual anecdotes. They're quiet imitations into her interior world, places she doesn't offer to just anyone. She initiates conversions or replies to your messages promptly with warmth and energy. She's not just being polite. She's showing that you're on Herman, and that connection with you is not chore but a desire. She may even allow physicalness, a light touch on the holder a moment, where she leans in during a shared laugh without withdrawing or tensing. That's not to be taken as permission for escalation, but for their sign that she feels safe in your presence. Many men get this wrong. They interpret openness as a green light axlet to assume ownership or entitlement over feelings or body. But a woman's trust is not a pass. It's a pillar. When she lowers her guard, it's not because she's weak. It's because she has emotional maturity in you, akin off masculinity that doesn't grab orcas, but steadies and observes. This is where a Stoic mindset becomes essential. The Stoic man does not rush to claim her, codinizes that intimacy is not owed. Itis, earned through composure, consistency, and calm. When a woman begins to soft tea around you, the right response isn't to react, but to hold thought moment gently. A yob come. A Monwo listens more than he lectures. Hana teases more than he's amassed. True closeness is never created through pressure. It is invited through presence. The man who understands this docent need to perform his emotional stillness speaks for itself. And in that stillness, a woman feels something rare. Freedom to be fully herself without fear of being used or judged. These moments might not seem loud. They often come quietly in the way she lingers after goodbye. And how she mirrors your posture without realizing too in the shift from guarded to open eyes. But they are real, and if you pay attention, they will tell you far more of inward seaver could. Don't rush thin folding. A woman's true affection reveals itself not in how quickly she gives, but in how deeply she chooses. When she begins to let you in, it's not because you'd demanded her trust. It's because you'd came the kind of man who doesn't need to ask further. Emotions show subtly but genuinely. Number 4. Her emotions show subtly but genuinely. In the world of male-female connection, most men search for certainty in words. They wait for a confession, a compliment, or a clear sign of interest. But women rarely express desire through direct statements. Instead, they reveal. If through subtle shifts in energy and unconscious signals, movements, and moments that, while easy to miss, carry a powerful meaning when observe it consciously. Interested woman won't always tell you, but she might lean in a little closer when you speak. Her tone may rise, light when she greets you or soften when she responds. Her laugh comes easier around you, even when the joke doesn't land with anyone else. You'll notice her glance at you when she thinks you're not paying attention. These are not random accidents, they're instinctive cues. Women are emotionally attuned and communicate technique through presence. More than pronouncement, this where many men go wrong. They overvalue the verbal and overlook the visceral. They analyze texts and conversations, but miss the tilt off her body when she listens, or the way her pupils dilate when she smiles. They ask what did she say instead of how did she show up? But feminine interest is more often felt and stated, and it doesn't communes. It repeats itself. Subtle, genuine behavior patterns are far more reliable than a single compliment ornament of flirtation from a grounded mindset. This makes sense. Woman who feels emotionally safe and attracted doesn't rush to declare it. Shooks presses through invitation note instruction. Her openness is shown in how often she finds a reason to stay near you. How her energy shifts when you want her. A room, and whether she included Sue in her gaze when the room grows quiet. These are the signs that reveal for more than words ever could. A man who's emotionally centered pays attention to these cues, not with desperation, but with discernment. He does not demand clarity from her mouth when her behavior has already spoken. He understands that genuine connection emerges in the patterns, not the exceptions. He listens with his eyes. He observes without yousing, and by doing so, he allows her to reveal herself without pressure or performance. Stoic insight reminds you that the truth lies in action, no intention. You cannot control what she sees or whether she is bold enough to express herself openly. But you can watch, you can sense, and most importantly, you can remain compass letting her signals come to you, rather than grasping for validation. A woman's attraction is not proven in a single minute. It is revealed over time through a quiet consistency that rewards the patient and perceptive man. So if you notice her eyes linger longer than they should, or her voice softens when Shaw speaks your name, don't dismiss it. Wench finds joy in your presence or seeks out small ways to stay connected. Pay attention. You're not imagining it. These are the whispers of attraction. And the man who knows how to listen to them without reacting too soon becomes. These feels safest opening up to. She subtly tests your emotional responses. Number 5. She subtly tests your emotional responses. It happens quietly, almost instantly. A question like, "Would you even care if it hung out with my ex?" slips into the conversation. A playful jab at your job or your outfit lands with a smirk. She casually mentions another man's 9 passing just now. To gauge your energy, and in Thatman, a man is presented with a choice by the reactant divil insecure to remain, grounded in divil strength. What many men fail to realize is that thesmal moments aren't designed to hurt or belittle them. They are instinctive ways a woman measures your emotionalities and the depth of your self-trust. A woman who slide tests you isn't trying to pick a fight. She's trying to answer an unspoken question. Can I feel safe with you emotionally, whether she knows it consciously or not? These tests, rooted in biology and sequoia throughout evolutionary history, a woman's ability to survive and raise offspring depended heavily on her partner's emotional and mental stability. The man who fell apart under pressure wasn't a protector. The man who remained grounded, however, especially under social, emotional, or physical pressure, became a beacon of safety. This isn't about being stoic in the sense of stone-faced affectant. It's about having an internal calm that isn't shaking. Every gust of emotional wind shell lightly provokes you. She's looking to see if you're reactive or self-led. If you lose your composure at mention of another man or beckomency over a joke, what you're saying is mioma sins are dependent on your behavior. And once she feels that equate respect begins to dissolve. On the other hand, if you meet her test with lightness.com voice, steady eye contact, maybe even a playful smile, you have sent a different message entirely. You show her a touch your center is not. For Sally, her emotions can move through the space between you without disrupting the structure of who you are. That your sense of self isn't up for negotiation. She might challenge your ego, but watch is showing. For is to find your essence and to feel and unmoved. Take, for example, a woman who says, "I ran into my ex today. He looked good." Mosman would either ignore it, awkwardly act jealous, or pretend they did care while stewing silently, but the self-possessed man might say, "Good for him. I like it when people take care of themselves and move on without a bank." That isn't indifference. It's maturity. It tells her, "I know my value doesn't drop just because someone else exists." And when you respond like this consistently, Shen changes. In the dynamic, she starts leaning in emotionally. Her defenses soften. Why? Because you've just proven again and again that you are her emotional anchor, not her emotion. I'll project thesmal emotional challenges not unique to dating. Either long-term relationships filled with mints. When a woman will test your emotional boundaries, not out of spite, but out of a need to feel the continued presence of masculine intruder. The man who gets flustered over every mood, swings, sharp word, or subtle provocation loses ground, but a man who learns to navigate these waters, who neither overreacts nor disage boats, a form of silent admiration that words rarely express. This is the core of masculine emotional leadership. You don't control her. You don't try to fix her. Okay, you don't panic when things get comfortable. You'll lead by presence. K and presence is provenit. When things are calm, but when they're not. Like Ash's captain, Eisenley revealed in a storm, a man's emotional mastery is unreal. When he's tested, one of the most overlooked truths in modern relationships is that a woman's emotional tests are actually exapol. They're hopeful that you're a different. Hopeful that you'll remain when others fall apart. Hopeful that the man sitting across from her isn't just a performer in the honeymoon phase. Butomian who lives in self-common. Suth, next time she says something that feels like a jab, don't flinch, look deeper heart. Text beneath her words. Respond with calm confidence and maybe even a little humor. And above all, never verge of her control over your emotional state. Because the moment I'll show her through. Her storms don't throw you off. Of course, she doesn't just feel attracted. Feels safe and safety and the world off real intimasias. Everything. So as we've explored a Stoicism, always announce itself with loud gestures or dramatic words, often to most genuine signs. A quiet one of subtle shifts in presence, tone, and energy that speak looms, if we're calm and grounded enough to notice them. Women be naturan social experience of more attuned to motion than confrontations they express interest with. Nuance Senate with a spotlight to understanding. These soft signals is not decoding a game. It's a boot learning to slow down, observe, and connect more deeply. When a woman chooses to be near you, opens up space in her world for you, or thoughts of emotional honesty to surface, she's not demanding anything, she's inviting something. That invitation is just about her interest. It's also a butho. Well, you can listen without forcing sense, without assuming, and without rushing. The more emotionally grounded and self-aware you become, the clearer these signals become, and the more like a Lu are two for meaningful mutual respect relations. This isn't about chasing zings or reacting to every gesture. It's about showing up as a man who leads with calm strength, emotional clarity, and quiet confidence. Because when you know your worth, you don't chase, you recognize. Thank you for being here and giving your attention to something many men overlook, the emotional and psychological side of a Trayon. Hope today's video helped shine a light on something you've experienced but maybe never fully understood. It did. I'd love to hear from you. Jav noticed these subtle signals in Simeon's behavior. How did you respond? What have you learned from your journey with attraction and connection? Feel free though. Share your insights and stories and comments below. Your experiences can truly help others grow too. And if you found this video valuable, consider subscribing to the channel and turning on notifications. There's so much more we'll be covering on relationships, human intelligence, and becoming a Fakandov man who connects with others in an authentic, powerful way. Thank you again for watching, and until next time, stay observed and stay calm and keep you becoming the best version of